Hi, I'm Marlo. I never thought I'd be sitting in an emergency room on a Tuesday night with a bloody face and a dislocated shoulder. The fluorescent lights overhead made everything look harsh and unreal, like I was trapped in some terrible dream. Miss Peterson? The nurse appeared at my curtain. The doctor will see you shortly. Can you tell me again how this happened? I winced as I shifted on the exam table. My brother-in-law, Jason. We were arguing about my sister's birthday present, and he just snapped. The nurse's pen paused over her clipboard. And where is your brother-in-law now? At home, probably. With my sister. My voice cracked. I drove myself here. You drove with a dislocated shoulder? Her eyebrows shot up. Left arm, I drive with my right. I attempted a smile that pulled painfully at my split lip. The curtain parted again as Dr. Bennett entered. She was tall with kind eyes that took in my condition with clinical precision. Marlo Peterson? I'm Dr. Bennett. She pulled up a stool. Let's take a look at that shoulder, and then we'll discuss what happened. There's not much to discuss, I said as she gently examined my shoulder. My brother-in-law did this. Has this happened before? Dr. Bennett asked, her voice carefully neutral. No, never. We've never even argued before tonight. I'm going to document all of your injuries, she said, reaching for a camera. With your permission, of course. Why? Because you might need it later, for legal purposes. I hadn't even thought about legal purposes. My mind was still reeling from the moment Jason had shoved me against the wall, the sickening pop of my shoulder, the feeling of his fist connecting with my face. But even worse was the memory of calling my sister from the car. Claire didn't believe me, I whispered. I told her what Jason did, and she said I should be more careful around him when he's stressed. Dr. Bennett paused. Your sister said that? I nodded, tears finally spilling over. Marlo? Dr. Bennett said firmly. What happened to you is assault. It's a crime. No amount of stress justifies what your brother-in-law did. But Claire is wrong. Dr. Bennett's tone left no room for argument. Now, I'm going to reset your shoulder, and then there's someone I'd like you to speak with. That someone turned out to be a victim's advocate named Sadie, who sat with me after my shoulder was reset and my face cleaned up. You have options, Sadie explained, handing me a card. You can file a police report tonight, or you can take some time to think. What would you do? I asked. Sadie leaned forward. I'd document everything while it's fresh. The hospital has already created a record of your injuries. A police report creates an official record of the assault. My phone buzzed with a text from Claire. Jason says you're exaggerating. Come home so we can talk this out. Sadie watched my face change as I read the message. What is it? She asked. I turned the phone so she could see the text. My sister thinks I'm exaggerating. And what do you think? I looked down at my arm in a sling, felt the throbbing in my face. I think I need to call someone else to pick me up, and then I need to file a report. Detective Rivera had the kind of face that had seen it all but still managed to look sympathetic. Her office at the police station was small but private, which I appreciated. Walk me through exactly what happened, Miss Peterson, she said, fingers poised over her keyboard. I recounted the events, trying to remember every detail. We were arguing about a birthday gift for my sister. It was stupid, really. He wanted to get her a kitchen appliance, and I said that was a terrible gift. He said I didn't know what my own sister wanted, and I said he was being thoughtless. Then he just exploded. His exact actions? He shoved me against the wall. That's when my shoulder dislocated. Then he hit me in the face. Once. Hard. I touched my swollen cheek gingerly. I got to my car somehow and drove to the hospital. Detective Rivera nodded, typing. And your sister's response when you told her? I swallowed hard. She said I should be more careful around Jason when he's stressed, like it was my fault. Has your sister witnessed him being violent before? The question hit me like ice water. I don't know. We don't live together. I was just visiting to plan her birthday. My phone buzzed again. Claire, for the 5th time since I'd left the hospital. I showed Detective Rivera. Where are you? Jason feels terrible. Let's talk about this as a family. Do you want to answer? Detective Rivera asked. Not yet. I put the phone away. What happens now? We'll bring Mr. She checked her notes. Daniel's in for questioning. We'll take your formal statement and we'll proceed from there. Do you have somewhere safe to stay tonight? I'm going to my friend Tara's place. She's waiting outside. Good. You should also consider filing for a protective order. I must have looked confused because Detective Rivera pulled out a form. It's a court order that would legally prevent Mr. Daniels from contacting you. Would that include Claire too? My sister? Not unless you want it to. I thought about Claire's text messages, her instant defense of Jason. I'll think about it. Detective Rivera handed me her card. One more thing, Miss Peterson. In cases like this, the accused often tries to contact the victim to apologize, make excuses, or even threaten them. If Mr. Daniels contacts you directly, do not respond. Document it and call me immediately. I nodded, clutching the card like a lifeline. Outside, Tara was pacing the waiting room. When she saw my face, she gasped. Oh my God, Marlo, I'm going to kill him. No, you're not, I said, attempting a smile. That would be illegal, and apparently we're doing things the legal way now. Tara hugged me carefully. Claire's been calling me too. What are you going to tell her? Nothing yet. Detective Rivera thinks Jason might try to contact me to apologize or... worse. Of course he will, Tara scoffed. Men like that always do. They hit you, then they're so sorry, then they do it again. You sound like you've dealt with this before. Tara's expression darkened. My mom, for years, until she finally got the courage to leave. She took my good arm. Come on, let's get you home. My spare room is all set up. I can't hide forever, I said as we walked to her car. You're not hiding. You're healing. There's a difference. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Jason. Marlo, please call me. It was a misunderstanding. I never meant to hurt you. I showed Tara, my hand shaking. Misunderstanding my ass, Tara snapped. Forward that to your detective. I did, and moments later, Detective Rivera called. Miss Peterson? This is exactly what we talked about. Save the message, don't respond. I'm going to move up our timeline and bring Mr. Daniels in tonight. 3 days later, I was sitting across from Claire in a coffee shop, my arm still in a sling, my face still bruised. She'd been blowing up my phone since Jason had been arrested, alternating between angry accusations and tearful pleas. You could have just talked to us, Claire said, stirring her untouched coffee. Instead, you went straight to the police. After I called you from my car bleeding, and you told me I should be more careful, I reminded her. I was in shock. What did you expect me to say? Are you okay? Do you need help? I'm coming to the hospital right now? Any of those would have been nice. Claire sighed dramatically. Jason's never done anything like this before. He's under a lot of pressure at work. Stop. My voice was sharper than I intended. Do not make excuses for him. He dislocated my shoulder and split my lip. The doctor said if he'd hit me any harder, I might have a fractured orbital bone. He says you were provoking him. I stared at her in disbelief. And you believe that? I don't know what to believe. Claire's voice rose, drawing glances from nearby tables. All I know is my husband is facing criminal charges, and my sister won't even consider dropping them. Your husband assaulted me, Claire. It's not my charges to drop. It's the state's. There must be something you can do. There is. I can tell the truth about what happened. That's all I'm doing. Claire leaned forward, her voice dropping to a harsh whisper. He could go to jail, Marlo. Do you understand that? Jail. Yes, I understand that actions have consequences. He's sorry. He wants to apologize to you properly. I took a deep breath. I don't want his apology. I don't want anything from him except distance. So that's it? You're just going to destroy our family? I didn't destroy anything, Claire. Jason did that when he put his hands on me. Claire's face hardened. You've always been so self-righteous, so perfect. One mistake. Assault isn't a mistake. I wasn't whispering anymore. It's a choice he made, and now you're making a choice too. What's that supposed to mean? It means you're choosing him over me, over the truth. I stood up, wincing at the pain in my shoulder. I love you, Claire. You're my sister. But I won't let anyone hurt me like that and pretend it didn't happen or that it wasn't that bad. Marlo, wait. The preliminary hearing is next Tuesday. I'll be there. If you want to be my sister, you'll be there too, on the right side of the courtroom. I walked out, ignoring Claire calling my name. Outside, Detective Rivera was waiting, as we'd arranged. How did it go? She asked. About as well as expected. She's still making excuses for him. That's common, unfortunately. Victims often face pressure from family to recant or minimize what happened. I'm not going to recant. Detective Rivera nodded approvingly. The prosecutor wants to meet with you tomorrow to prep for the hearing. They're charging him with second-degree assault. Will he go to jail? Possibly. First offense, he might get probation, anger management, community service. But it'll be on his record. And if he ever does it again, he'll do real time, I finished. Exactly. Detective Rivera hesitated. There's something else you should know. Mr. Daniels' attorney has reached out about a possible plea deal. What kind of deal? He pleads guilty to a lesser charge, gets probation, takes anger management classes, stays away from you. And in return, you don't have to testify in open court. No trial. I thought about facing Jason and Claire in court, having to recount every detail, being cross-examined. Can I think about it? Of course. Talk it over with the prosecutor tomorrow. But Marlo, whatever you decide, you've already done the hard part. You stood up for yourself. That's more than many people manage. The courtroom was colder than I expected. Or maybe that was just my nerves. I sat beside the prosecutor, a no-nonsense woman named Elaine Walsh, who had spent hours preparing me for this moment. Remember, she murmured as we waited for the judge, just answer exactly what you're asked. No more, no less. And look at me or the judge, not at him. I nodded, trying not to look across the aisle where Jason sat with his attorney. I hadn't seen him since that night, and even at a distance, I could feel the weight of his stare. The door at the back of the courtroom opened, and I turned to see Claire slip in. For a moment, our eyes met and I held my breath, waiting to see which side she would choose. She hesitated, then walked to the middle of the room, sitting alone in a neutral territory. Not with me, but not with him either. It was something, I supposed. The judge entered, and everyone stood. Everything after that happened in a blur. The formal reading of charges, Jason's plea of guilty to the reduced charge of third-degree assault, the judge's questions to ensure he understood what he was admitting to. And Miss Peterson, the judge said, turning to me. The plea agreement includes a 2-year restraining order against the defendant. Are you satisfied with these terms? I glanced at Elaine, who nodded encouragingly. Yes, Your Honor, I said, my voice stronger than I expected. Very well. Mr. Daniels, I'm sentencing you to 3 years of probation, during which time you will complete an anger management program and perform 200 hours of community service. You will have no contact with Miss Peterson. Violate these terms, and you will serve the remainder of your sentence in jail. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor, Jason said, sounding nothing like the man who had struck me with such rage. Court is adjourned. As people began to move, Jason turned toward me, his mouth opening as if to speak. His attorney grabbed his arm, whispered something harsh, and he turned away. In the hallway outside, Claire was waiting. You went through with it, she said. It wasn't a question. I did what I had to do. What happens now? That depends on you. I met her eyes steadily. He's still your husband. I'm still your sister. But I won't be in the same room as him. Not for birthdays, not for holidays, not for anything. So I have to choose. You already did, Claire, when you said I should be more careful instead of asking if I was okay. Claire looked down. I've been seeing a therapist. She says I've been making excuses for Jason's behavior for a long time. Not just with you. That stopped me cold. Has he hurt you too? Not physically, but there are other ways to hurt someone. She looked up, tears in her eyes. I'm sorry, Marlo. I should have been there for you. It's not too late. Jason and I are separating. I told him last night. I didn't know what to say to that. Part of me wanted to hug her. Part of me was still too hurt. Tara appeared at my side, having watched the proceedings from the back. Everything okay here? Getting there, I said, not taking my eyes off Claire. Claire nodded awkwardly. I should go, but maybe we could talk later this week. Just us. I'd like that. As Claire walked away, Tara squeezed my good arm. You did it. How do you feel? I watched my sisters retreating back, thought about the long road ahead for both of us. Like I can finally start healing, I said. The real kind, not just the physical stuff. Was it worth it? All of this? Tara gestured around the courthouse. I thought about Detective Rivera's words, about standing up for myself, about all the people who never get that chance or take it. Ask me again in a year, I said, managing a real smile for the first time in days. But right now, yeah, it was worth it. What would you do if someone you trusted betrayed you when you needed them most? Would you have the courage to stand up for yourself?